Hey everybody, welcome back. This is the second video of the Algebra 2 Chapter 2.4 Writing Linear Equations Note Guide. As I requested, you should have completed B and C for problem number 2, which is to write the equation of the line in point-slope form, then slope-intercept form. So you can pause the video at this time and take a look at my work. These are the steps that you would go through in order to write it in the forms, find the slope, write it in point-slope form using either point, and then rearrange it so it's in slope-intercept form. These are the only two that might be different for you, but when you rearrange it to slope-intercept form, they're all the same. If you don't understand this, bring questions to class. Moving on, we're doing parallel and perpendicular lines. So parallel lines are lines that never touch. The notation for parallel lines is two parallel lines. So these are lines that do not intersect. And if they do not intersect, that means they must have the same steepness or gradient or slope. They have the same slope. So I'm going to give you an equation of a line. Y equals 1/2 x plus 3. We can graph this line because we know the y-intercept, which is 3, and the slope, which is 1/2. So let's go ahead and graph that line. We start by graphing the y-intercept, which is 3. I know it's got positive slope, so it's got to go up and to the right. I'm going to rise 1, and I go 2 to the right. If I go down 1, I would go 2 to the left. And I continue that all the way across my page. And once I've connected my dots, I will put arrows on the end. So this is the equation of y equals 1/2 x plus 3. If I want to write a line parallel to that, that passes through a given point, we'll say 1, 3, I can do that. I can also write the equation of a line that is parallel to y equals 1/2 x plus 3. That passes through 1, 3. Because they are parallel, I know that the red line will also have to have the same slope of 1/2. I also know it passes through 1, 3, so I can plot 1, up 3, I put a dot, and then I go up 1 over 2. They're very close together, but they are actually not intersecting because they have the same slope. So these are parallel lines. Same slope. One passes through a different point. Now let's write the equation of the red line. Because I do not know the y-intercept, I don't want to just take a guess. I'm just going to first write it in point-slope form. So y minus 3 equals m times x minus 1. And then I can rearrange this by distributing and then moving the 3 over. Three whole pizzas minus a half gives me 2.5 pizzas, which is the same thing as 5 halves. So if I had guessed at the y-intercept, I might not have gotten that correctly because it passes through a rational non-integer point. So this is the equation of the line parallel to the green line in y equals mx plus b. This is the equation of the line parallel to the green line in point-slope form. So remember, if you know a line and you know it's parallel, the slope of its parallel line must be the same. Perpendicular lines. They use a different symbol, obviously, because they're perpendicular. Perpendicular symbol looks like this. When lines are perpendicular, they cross at a 90-degree angle. And the notation for that is a little box, 90 degrees. They do intersect. Their slopes are not the same, but they are related. Their slopes are opposites, meaning signs. The blue has a positive slope, and the red has a negative slope. So opposite reciprocals. So that means the rise and the runs flip. They are opposite reciprocals. So let's go back to our green line example. y is 1/2 x plus 3. We know the y-intercept is 3, and we know the slope of that line is 1/2. So we will graph that again quickly. Up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2, etc. Connecting our dots. This is the green line. Now I'm going to graph a line parallel to this. Oh, excuse me, not parallel. I'm going to graph a line perpendicular to this that passes through, we'll say 1, 2. And then we're going to write the equation of the line. Well, if I know the slope of the green line is 1/2, then I know the slope of the perpendicular line. It would be opposite sign. This one's positive, so this one would be negative, and reciprocal, the flip of this one. So the slope would be -2 over 1. And you don't necessarily have to put it over 1. You could just leave it as -2. So we're going to graph that over 1 up 2. Hold on, having a little technical difficulties. Oh, before we can graph that, we need to plot our point over 1 up 2. And then I'm going to go down 2 over 1, or I could go up 2 over 1. Up 2 over 1 repeating. And you'll notice that it does make a line that looks perpendicular. Now we're going to write the equation of the perpendicular line. Again, I don't know the y-intercept, so I'm simply going to use point-slope form. Y minus y1, which is 2, equals the slope, which is -2, x minus 1, the x1. Now I can rearrange this so it's in y equals mx plus b by distributing. This will come to the other side, plus 2. So I get y equals -2x plus 4. That's the equation in slope-intercept form that is perpendicular to the green line. And this is the equation of the line that is perpendicular to the green line in point-slope form. On to the next page, we're going to do a couple examples, and then you'll do your homework. Passes through. Write the equation of the line in slope-intercept form that passes through 1, 4 and is parallel to y equals 5x minus 3. If this is the line, I know the slope. It's 5. And if I'm trying to find a line parallel, the slope is the same. So the new line would have slope 5 as well. And I know it's passing through 1, 4. So identify the existing slope. Identify your new slope and what line you're passing through. Then write it in point-slope form. Then rearrange it so that it is in slope-intercept form. And the algebra becomes very easy because you get used to doing this quickly. So the equation of the line parallel to y equals 5x minus 3 that passes through 1, 4 is y equals 5x minus 1. Simple as that. B. Write the equation of the line that passes through 0, -2 and is perpendicular to y equals 4/3 x minus 12. So I know the slope of the given line. It's 4/3. I also know the line perpendicular, its slope. It's the opposite sign, negative now, reciprocal. Flip that over. And I know it passes through 0, -2. Now that I have the perpendicular slope and the line and the point it passes through, I write it in point-slope form. Y minus y2, or excuse me, y1 equals m x minus the x1. And then I clean that up. Y plus 2 equals 3/4 x. Bring the 2 over, and it's in slope-intercept form. Y equals 3/4 x. I've lost the negative there. Make sure you guys put that negative. Y equals -3/4 x minus 2. Okay, write the equation of the line that passes through 9, -2, and is perpendicular to the given line. Well, the only thing I need to find out about the given line is the slope. So I'm going to highlight 2 integer points. So for this line, which I will call the green line, the slope is up to 3/2. So -3/2 is the slope of the given line right here. Okay, sorry that's not straight. If it is perpendicular, the new line, then I know the perpendicular slope would be don't write that down, would be the opposite sign. This is negative, this one would be positive, reciprocal. So 2/3 would be the new slope. If it passes through 9, -2, well, I can't even graph that on here. Doesn't matter. I just want to write the equation. I'm going to put it in point slope form. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. I'm going to clean it up, get rid of the double negatives. I'm going to distribute it. 2/3 times 9 is 18/6, which is -6. Then I'm going to bring over the -2 by subtracting it. So the equation of the line that is perpendicular to the green line is y equals 2/3 x minus 8. Again, it would be difficult to graph this because it's the y-intercept's way down here. Then you go up to over 3, up to over 3. This is a very rough sketch. But we use the line given to figure out the equation. All right, this is your homework. Problem set 2.4, practice B, number 1 through 10 all. This is found on Canvas under modules. The download of this is under modules. Bring your questions. Next class, this is expected to be completed and submitted prior to that. Hope this video helped.